prior to the arrest, the grand jury comes back where they finally indict Keefe. Now, I got to learn how grand juries operate during this process. I was talking to a lawyer friend of mine, and he had quoted Johnny Cochran saying that he can convict a turkey sandwich with a grand jury.
There's a ham sandwich, but yeah.
A ham sandwich, right, with a grand jury, meaning that you have a situation, the grand jury could go on for months, right? Mm-hmm. It can go on forever. They can keep bringing more and more evidence to the same grand jury, this group of people who have to keep listening to this evidence. There is no lawyer to counter this on any level. Mm-hmm. And they could just keep throwing stuff at the grand jury until they get the answer they want. Is that pretty accurate?
Not really. I mean, you can't just keep this thing open-ended indefinitely until you're convinced you're going to get the result that you're looking for. The process is a little bit more refined than that. But you're right, there's no defense, but all you're trying to establish is probable cause, which is a very, very low threshold. It's just probable cause. You're not trying to get enough information, you're not trying to prosecute anybody. You're just seeing if there's enough probable cause to demonstrate that it is prosecutable.
Yeah, but once you're under that probable cause umbrella, you have a world of problems. Mm-hmm. That you're dealing with. You now have to get a lawyer, and you're now facing serious charges and everything else like that. It just bothers me that during this process, there's nobody there on the defense side to say this, although this looks like this has something to do with it, this really has nothing to do with it. And let me explain to you why. Mm-hmm. That's not there during that process.
Yeah, well, that's what trial's for.
Right. But I'm saying is, how often do grand juries choose not to say there's enough probable cause? It seems like if you have the ability to keep coming back over and over again, you'll eventually get what you want, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it does seem like it's a little bit one-sided or lopsided.
Yeah.
Maybe from your perspective, it's unfair.
Yeah.
I agree with the process because I understand how this has to work, that you're building up from nothing. And it starts out with probable cause. Like every arrest that is made is based on a probable cause arrest. And then you gather whatever you have and take it and see whether it's a prosecutable arrest. Mm. And then if so, then a filing's made and somebody's charged officially. So it's just part of the process. But I understand where you're coming from. It
just seems a little unfair.
Yeah.
Like I said, based on that process, you and I could probably get grand jury indictments against us.
I don't think I could. Not based on the things I've done in my life. I don't think I've committed crimes.
I'm just saying in general, though, when you keep providing things and there's no defense on the other side.
There is a bit. You have to provide enough compelling evidence to indicate that this person committed a crime.
Okay, fair enough. Well, part of the grand jury was this guy named Rocc. Mm-hmm. You know who that is? Mm-hmm. Describe to me what Rocc's role is in this whole situation.
Well, obviously he's a grand jury witness, and he says that he was there when comments were made by Big Dre, DeAndre Smith, and that I know that Rocc and Keefe D have a very long history together. Rocc was a Southside Crip. So he's going to be one of the, I think, testimonial witnesses that will lay the foundation of Keefe D's direct involvement in a gang to establish the gang enhancement.
Okay, but Rocc said that Orlando was not the shooter, mm-hmm. that it was Big Dre. Mm-hmm. And the way he broke it down, I read through this, basically said that Dre was the shooter, but according to gang rules, Orlando should have been the shooter because he's the one who got jumped.
Sure.
So by allowing Orlando to take the credit for this, it makes Orlando look better. And it also takes the heat off him as being the shooter for one of the most loved artists in the world. So he was basically okay with this whole situation. The guy that's supposed to have done it is getting the credit and he could brag about it. The heat is off of me, and the whole, all the Tupac fans in the world don't want to kill me. I'm okay with this. It sounds plausible.
Sure, but there's some loose ends to it also. Keep it in mind that there's other people who could say they could call bullshit Andre. You know, Terrence Brown knows who shot, and he's around during this period of time. And so he could easily counter that and say, no, bullshit, man. Orlando had the gun. He's the one who shot. So,
but T. Brown doesn't make any statements though. So
no, well, he does, because he's down there bragging that he shot Tupac. So everybody in the cars, with the exception of Keefe.
Wait. So Terrence Brown also claimed he was the shooter?
Yeah.
Oh.
Everybody in the car was taking credit for it.
But not Keefe.
Not Keefe.
Yeah.
But all the other
guys.
He's
the older one in that crew. So
right.
He knows a little better.
Right. He's trying to tell everyone to shut up because, you know, it's getting around that everybody's bragging about it.
So Orlando, Andre, and Terrence are all saying they're the shooters.
Right.
All three of them simultaneously. Like they all held the gun together and just, okay, got it.
They all want to take credit for it because.
Like, kumbaya moment.
Yeah.
Right.
For them, it is. It's, you're building your status. Terrence Brown was already known as a shooter. Like, so it would have made sense, you know, he would certainly do it at the drop of a dime. DeAndre Smith also had been looked at for a couple of shootings. And of course, Orlando Anderson. So all things considered, I think it's Orlando. It makes the most sense to me. It's most definitely who Keefe D said had done it. He could have said it was DeAndre and not thrown his own nephew under the bus. So to me, it makes the most sense it was Orlando. But everybody was taking credit for it.
Well, why do you think Dirt Rocc is saying that it was Andre?
Well, because DeAndre may have said the same thing that Terrence was saying and, you know, bragging about it.
Oh, so this is just because Dirt Rocc wasn't there.
No. Oh, no. Dirt Rocc wasn't even in Vegas.
Right. And Dirt Rocc had his own drug case that he was dealing with, right?
I think he's had more than one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to Dirt Rocc.
Yeah.
He's considering whether or not he wants to say something or not, but we had a conversation about it. And, you know, he's part of the grand jury. So at this point, you know, the cat's out the bag.
Yeah.
I actually spoke to Dirt Rocc before our interview and the Keefe interview. And it was, back then it was like, it wasn't enough information to me to go forward with actually doing the interview. Because it's like, oh, I don't know. Some of the stories didn't quite match up. So I wasn't quite sure. And it's like, I don't want to just throw someone in front of the camera, not knowing whether it's legitimate or not.